Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Baseball family, welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I'm Brig. I'm going to be flying solo today. Brad is off gallivanting, doing whatever fun people do. Just kidding. We wish him well. He's having the time of his life. He's not sick or anything like that like I was last time. So, good to go. Hope you're having fun, Brad. No, he's going to baseball games. It's the greatest thing. It's really awesome. All right, we're going to get into a lot today since I'm flying solo. We have a little more time, a little less conversation. So we're going to cover a few more topics than we normally would. First things first, public service announcement. If you're listening to this on Tuesday the 18th, welcome to MLB's soft opening day, what I'm considering their soft opening. The Japan series begins today. And if you're catching this at 3 a.m. on your commute, which is when I'm uploading it, then you're going to, you have 3 hours. You have 3-hour window till you catch the game. If, like the rest of humanity, you're only now waking up to watch the game, then I hope it's enjoyable. I am recording this previously so that I can get up and watch the game tomorrow morning. Welcome to Monday the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. But in your time, it's the 18th, and Major League Baseball is kicking it off. So the next game will be, again, that's for game 1, 6 a.m. Eastern on the 18th. Game 2, the 19th, also 6 a.m. Eastern. Dodgers, Cubs, very excite. We love it. But the official opening day in my house, opening day will be 9 days from now on the 27th of March. Yep, nobody's going to school that day. We're all going to have some kind of party, maybe some hot dogs. We're going to grill out. We're going to turn on the TV. It's going to be the bomb, and we're going to watch as much baseball as absolutely possible. So 9 days from right now when you're listening is the official opening day of Major League Baseball. One more item of housekeeping before we get going. I just want to let you know that one of our favorite things to do around here is to eat sunflower seeds. Brad and I both love sunflower seeds. So what we did is we called over to Chinook Seeds. As soon as we got a chance to try their seeds, we said, holy crap, these seeds are amazing. They literally are the best seeds we've ever had. And it says that on the packaging, best seeds ever. We thought we would call them, and we've built a friendship with them. And because of that, we're able to extend to you a discount. So you can jump on ChinookSeedery.com and use code BTPOD at checkout. That'll get you 10% off your order. It also supports the show. It supports Chinook. We had a conversation with them not long ago. We learned a little bit more about them, their core value system. We met a couple of the people involved, and you will also be meeting some of the people involved on the show. So stay tuned for that. But go over to ChinookSeedery.com. Again, use code BTPOD at checkout. Get 10% off. So first things first, regarding the Japan series, Mookie Betts is not going to be able to participate, and that is a travesty. Apparently he's sick. Mookie Betts is sick, and it's, first of all, they're being cagey about what kind of sick he is. They won't say more than it is not contagious. That's all they're copping to right now, and I can't blame them. We don't want airing everybody's dirty laundry all the time, though you are in the public eye, and we do expect a certain amount of specificity in relation to why you can or cannot perform to the expectation. And yet, the dichotomy is they do require and are entitled to a certain amount of privacy. So anyway, the Dodgers have come out and said Mookie Betts is ill. As a result of that, he will not be playing in the Japan series. As of this moment, they do not know whether they're going to send him home or whether they'll keep him in Japan through the series, but he has apparently lost some 15 pounds or something. The reports are saying that he's lost up to 15 pounds. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that goes way beyond water weight. Like, if you're cutting before, like, a fight or a wrestling match or something like that, there's a certain limit to what you can cut and consider it a water weight. Probably not healthy, right? Old school cuttings, probably not healthy, but you can do it and not die. This 15 pounds, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight. And so I'm concerned. I'm sure he'll bounce right back. Mookie Betts a freak athlete. He is in peak physical condition and probably will be until he's 80 or so, maybe even after that. So I'm not worried. If he thinks he's going to be okay and there's no alarm bells ringing, then there shouldn't be for us either when it comes to Mookie Betts. That does not apply to everybody, and we will get into that specifically a little bit later in the episode. But if you're wondering why you haven't seen Mookie Betts in Japan or where, and won't be, that's why. Next thing I wanted to talk about, this is really fun. The spring training, every year, beat writers across Major League Baseball survey players, up to about 100 players, maybe over 100 players. They get surveyed, and the answers to these questions, which are pretty candid questions, are given on the condition of anonymity. They promise, the writers promise they will not say anything. They will not reveal the person who gave the answer if they'll be honest. So that's how this goes. The spring training survey has been completed, and here is the overwhelming majority answer to the following questions. Who would excel most in another sport? Survey says Mookie Betts. We all saw that coming. I don't think that's a surprise. It's very likely he's been, rated as such for the last handful of seasons. I wouldn't be surprised. Most surprising team. This was surprising to me. The most surprising team across the league was voted as the Athletics. They are a huge question mark for fans. They're a huge question mark for owners, I think. I think everybody's a little concerned with what's going on. We've talked at length here on the show about patting us on the head and doing such a disservice to the fans in Oakland and how they're going to fare in that AAA ballpark that they're sharing in Sacramento. So, but apparently, according to the players around the league, they have a really, really talented core. And we've seen that. Brent Rooker's a great example. Lawrence Butler's coming through. Mason Miller, fabulous. But the players around the league have voted, and the average answer came back with the Athletics being the most surprising team. The best pitcher to close out Game 7. The vote was Emmanuel Clase of the Guardians. Now, this is interesting to me because Emmanuel Clase posted a 0.61 ERA, and that led like everybody in everything since forever, basically, is what it felt like all last season, until he got to the postseason. And I looked it up. The postseason statistics for Emmanuel Clase just in 2024, he pitched 7 games, earned 2 saves out of 3 save opportunities, 8 complete innings. He logged 12 hits, 8 runs, all of them earned, gave up 3 homers. He totaled 123 pitches. That's good enough for a 9.00 ERA last year in the postseason. So, do you really want Emmanuel Clase closing out your Game 7? This was a surprising answer to me. I would be interested to see what Brad thought. I understand that under ideal circumstances, he's absolutely electric. The next question, player who should host a podcast or a talk show after they retire. Again, Mookie Betts. He's already, he has an Emmy-nominated podcast, so that's not a concern at all. Most underrated player, Jose Ramirez was voted the most underrated player, and I don't get why he's underrated. I feel like he's appropriately rated. I don't know. Here on the show, I guess we give him a plenty of praise, and so I don't understand why at least in this moment. I might change my mind later. I do that sometimes, and that's okay. Player you'd most want to see as a teammate. Again, this was a tie this time, but it also included Mookie Betts. Dude's a favorite. Shohei Ohtani was also voted most interested in becoming teammates with, which probably speaks a lot to why the Dodgers were able to do what they were able to do this postseason and last. But specifically this year, this hot stove season was really hot in LA. Best defensive player in baseball. Also a tie between Andres Gimenez, second base for the Blue Jays, and Francisco Lindor, shortstop for the Mets, in case you were living under a rock. Also interesting. Best pitcher in baseball, Tarek Skubal got the vote across the league by his peers. Best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani with the Dodgers. Super duh. So I think it's fun every year to look into what the players think, and based on their anonymous responses and the aggregate answer, it's always fun to see what everybody thinks and feels. What do you think, baseball family? Am I crazy on Emmanuel Clase? Am I up a creek on Jose Ramirez? I think J-Ram's awesome. So I don't know what the problem is, but is he underrated? Is he underrated for you, or do you just think that's the public perception? Anyway, I don't know. It's really interesting. Brad, what do you think? Okay, next thing. The national broadcast schedules are official, kind of. And I say kind of because it's always going to change. You're going to get halfway through the season, then you're going to get 3/4 into the season, and things will have shifted left and right 100 times. These broadcasters are going to jockey to change who they broadcast, which games they get to cover based on the team's capabilities and draw, and so record has to play into that. The trade deadline affects that, with different players shifting around, and they're bringing eyes on to the team that they're now on. But as of right now, as of the official sort of preseason broadcast schedule, this is the national broadcast schedule. Of course, this goes between ESPN for now, Fox, FS1, Roku, Apple TV Plus, and TBS. The Dodgers are slotted for 21 games total across all broadcast platforms. The Mets have been given 20 slots. Padres got 19. The Yankees and Phillies each came in with 17. The list goes on and on. Lots of teams are averaging 14 and 13 games across the broadcast lineup throughout the year. However, if you're an Athletics fan or if you're a White Sox fan, you basically have to live in that market or have MLB TV to watch those games, because as of right now, there will be no White Sox or A's games on ESPN, Fox, FS1, Roku, Apple TV Plus, or TBS. So it makes sense. It's not fair, and I don't think it's the right thing to do, but it makes sense. We all know the White Sox were the worst team in baseball last season, and they might be the worst team of the entire decade. Who knows, right? Time will tell. But we are halfway through, nearly halfway through this decade, and we might not see anything quite so bad. The Athletics have been all over the place with, are the fans coming? Are they boycotting? Do we love what's going on with the move to Vegas? Is that actually what's happening? No, now it's in Sacramento. Is that enough? Do people care? How is their fan base going to react? Are they going to be able to recover any of the fan base? Who's going to follow them? Who will be new fans? How many years do we have to wait till we begin growing the fan base in Las Vegas? All of that, I imagine, factors into national broadcasters wanting to have anything to do with A's games on their platform. And right now, nobody cares at this level. So, and again, let me be clear. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. I think if you're going to grow the game from Major League Baseball's perspective, maybe you ought to insist that every team get at least one game. The Miami Marlins got one slot. They were given one slot. Okay, the Rockies got 2 slots. And you can't tell me there's not enough hype around waiting for the A's and the White Sox to see how they're going to handle the new situation that they're in. How are the A's going to handle being in Sacramento? We can't give them one slot, national broadcast, to see if that ballpark can handle the gameplay that's coming. You can't tell me there's not another team that's going to show up that you're willing to play or to give airtime to. Even if you don't call it the A's, you give it to somebody else. I mean, this is astonishing to me. How many of us are sitting there wondering, will the White Sox really bounce back or will they not? Are they going to continue to be this basement-dwelling franchise? I don't think so. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet either with Chicago, with the White Sox. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I hope that they get some exposure. I don't know how the Athletics are going to start growing their fan base as aggressively as they're going to need to without national attention. So I think it's a shame. But, baseball family, I want to know what you think. Is it a crime to not even get one slot on a national broadcast? Or is this an appropriate slap in the face? Are we being told that the market doesn't care? Is that a direct message to these owners, which makes a lot of sense to me? If that's your argument, I can see that. But I really want to hear what you have to say, baseball family, because this is a big deal. And, I don't think the conversation is ever going to go away. And it shouldn't. Not until it's solved. All right. Let me get off my little soapbox here. Let's move on to talk about injuries. Giancarlo Stanton, first of all, it's such a shame. And I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm hurting bad on the back of these almost daily news updates on how bad his situation is. And I get that, but you take a guy who was so good and so good for baseball and now is so just incapable. His body will not do what we need him to do. We as baseball fans. And I know if you want to hate the Yankees, that's fine. You go ahead and hate the Yankees. But if you want to hate a player just because they're on the Yankees, you can go ahead, but you're going to have to defend that position a little more mightily than if you just plain hate the Yankees, which is, again, I don't know. Come at me, I guess. So we know he has torn tendons in his elbows, both elbows. The pain has been described as severe. Not my favorite term to hear for anybody. He did get PRP earlier this spring. That's platelet-rich plasma. Those are injections. There's no indication that that's actually helping. So we don't know what to expect from his elbows in terms of recovery or timeline. And now we learn that there's a calf issue, and that's just slowing everything down. So my opinion is if we see him return to the field prior to June 1st, if he's back any earlier than June 1st, I will be shocked. I'll be probably really happy about it. Especially given the performance he put on a clinic in the postseason this last year. Yankees wouldn't have been anywhere near as deep into the playoffs as they got, which was all the way to the World Series, and without Stanton. And he's the reason they hung in there in the World Series as long as they did anyway, let's be honest. So it's just a shame. But if a June 1st start time, let's say, hypothetically, if a June 1st start time is what is going to get him into a playoff role, if the Yankees can not lose a playoff bid in April and May, because you can do that, and with the injuries they've got, it's possible. And with Brian Cashman coming out and saying, with the luxury tax, not really sure we have a lot of, ability to flex here. And with Hal Steinbrenner crying poor, woe is me. Ugh, it's just disgusting. I just think we should, as Yankees fans, manage our expectations. And then the rest of the league and the fans that hate the Yankees, you guys should just be giddy, right? Like, this whole thing should just be music to your ears. All right. Stanton is entering, this is the last bit, Stanton's entering the 11th year of a 13-year deal. It was a $325 million contract that was originally signed in Miami. The Yankees picked it up. He's going to earn $32 million this year. $15 million is due to him in 2026 and 2027. That will conclude the contract, and there is also a club option in 2028. All right, one last bit of news that I think is just worth talking about. Good old Joey Gallo making some damn headlines again. Making some headlines again. All right, get ready for this. Unconditional release from the White Sox, okay? They're like, be free, okay? Get out of here. Do whatever you want to do, Joey Gallo says. All right, I'm halfway to 32, okay? I'm like, as of this moment, he's 118 days into his age 31 year or something like that, okay? He has 2 gold gloves in the outfield, right field. He earned those with the Rangers, but since then, he has become a defensive liability and an offensive liability. Talk about hot and cold, getting colder every day. Okay, I hated it when he was a Yankee. I hated it. And then you get hot and cold. When he left the Yankees, he was either really great and then he was not. And the moments where he was really great just got shorter and shorter and fewer and farther between. So, here we go. Unconditional release from the White Sox. Almost 32 years old right now. And yet he's not ready to be done. And he says he's going to redefine his career and himself as a player as a pitcher. Never pitched in the majors. Not one time. He hasn't pitched in the minors ever. He didn't play college, so there's no pitching experience there. He was drafted by the Rangers and signed with the Rangers instead of going to LSU. He pitched in high school, though, guys, so don't worry. He pitched in high school. Okay? 16, 17, 18 years old. Pitched in high school. He did throw a no-no. Okay? He did throw a no-no to a bunch of minors. And he says, it's going to be all right. I'm going to be a pitcher. Now, all of the Joey Gallo supporters are saying, oh, he's got an elite arm, though. He's got such a great arm. Arm strength is the key. Because he's got such a cannon, right? He's going to be okay. But according to Baseball Savant, he ranks 25th in arm strength for all active first basemen right now. Okay, Vlad Guerrero Jr. has got the strongest arm among all first basemen in the league right now. Joey Gallo is 25th. How many teams are there in Major League Baseball? Do the math. Don't ask me to do the math. You do the math. That being said, okay, by the way, his arm strength's rated right now at average 74 miles an hour. Okay? 74 miles an hour. Does that mean he's incapable of ramping up to a major league level pitch strength, speed, spin? I don't know. I'm here to tell you, I don't know very many people who know either. But I know some people we can call and ask. And I'm about to call and ask them. So, just you wait, Henry Higgins. Here's my official position for what it's worth, okay? Is that I am all for this. 100%. Get after it, Joey Gallo. You want to redefine yourself? Please do. You want to prove us all wrong? You want to prove all the skeptics wrong? I would love it. I would love to see that happen. Get yourself a minor league deal. Make Scott Boras and his company work for you. Have them open up all of their training facilities, all of their networks of coaching and conditioning and everything they've got to prepare you, to keep you engaged, and and maybe you return to what you knew in high school. I don't know. It was 100 years ago. But maybe you relearn, and maybe you learn some new stuff all at the same time. But I say work it for all it's worth, buddy. Seriously. And I'll be the first one to congratulate you. If you can even make it back to the bigs as a pitcher, you deserve the highest of fives, sir, because that will be an incredible storyline. And I'm all about it. I'm all for it. So, there is an opportunity to support the podcast. You can go to Patreon. Patreon.com. We have 5 tiers of support. We have a $1, $5, $10, $15, and there's a $500 a month subscription. If you want to support the show that way, you totally can. It is comical. It is an absurd amount of money. We know that. That's why the things we promised in there are absurd. So get over to patreon.com, check it out. But for less than an energy drink or one of my bougie lattes, you can support the show. And it means a lot. It really goes a long way. Anyway, baseball family, we will catch you on Friday when we release another episode. And this one will be a Ball Talk episode. Again, another absolutely fantastic interview. We're very excited about it. And then don't forget that coming up in the season, we're going to start doing 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday nights will be our Thursday Night Live broadcast. With that, we'll prepare you with everything you need to know going into the weekend so you can get all the baseball you need. Anyway, with that, baseball family, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for being here. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to do it without you. And who loves you, baby?